Providing News Network. With me, Daryl, as your news anchor. Today, we have an interesting topic about Syrian refugees. As you all know, this is a very serious issue that has been going on for more than 8 years. Therefore, we have Chila to tell you more about the crisis of our time.
Turkey is one of the five neighboring countries of Syria and has the largest population of Syrian refugees. Among the countries in the world, Syrian conflict has created one of the worst humanitarian crises of our time. The population of pre-war Syria is around 21 million. Now, after 8 years, more than 12 million people in Syria have been killed or forced to flee their homes. Many families are struggling to survive in harsh conditions in Syria. Some make a new home in neighboring countries, hoping to find acceptance and opportunity. But one fact is for sure, millions of Syrians need our help. According to the UN, $3.29 billion was required to meet the urgent needs of most vulnerable Syrians in 2019. Sadly, only a little more than a third has been received.
Chila, for the extraordinary information. Without further ado, we have a special interview with Ms. Rati, who works in Forging Immigration.
Halo,
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Uh, halo, halo Mr. Majid.
Halo.
Hello, so let me introduce myself. My name is Rainar from SMP Lazuardi and I'm grade 8 and
Okay.
today I'm going to interview you about the Syrian refugees.
Okay.
Okay, so for the first question, how and when did the Syrian refugees crisis start?
The crisis.
Yes, how and
Uh,
when?
I believe you could check on the news
Yes.
that it was started during the outbreak of the Syrian conflict in 2011,
Oh yeah, yeah.
where there's a lot of turmoil within the countries between all these I call rebellious group with the Syrian government, especially since Bashar Assad
Oh yeah, yeah.
administration.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and at that time, since then,
Hmm?
over 11.5 million, I believe,
Have
more than half of
fled.
the country's population
Yes.
have been forced to flee their homes.
Oh.
Yes, and over 6.1 million people are internally displaced,
Displaced.
while more than 5.4 million, if I'm not mistaken, have
Mhm.
sought sanctuary across their borders.
Ah.
Yep.
For this.
That's actually I got that information from the news.
Oh.
we d- don't do you need my information, my biodata or my CV maybe?
Oh, no,
Because
no, it's okay.
you don't need, because
Yeah.
I work within the Director General of Immigration. I work as
Yeah.
the Deputy Director for International Cooperation, and as of now,
Yes.
we within the Director General of Immigration uh, cannot directly handling refugees, because our country, Indonesia, is
Yeah.
not part of the UN
Oh, it's a part of the
Refugee
European.
Convention
Hmm.
1951.
Oh,
So
so you
that's
can.
why we deals with the crisis of refugee differently from the humanitarian approach,
Yeah.
from the human rights. But that's additional information. Basically, for the first question,
Yeah.
my answer is it's since 2011, where the outbreak of the war
Mhm.
in Syrian conflict in 2011 between the Syrian government with the rebellious group.
Oh, so we
Yep.
can say that many refugees are fleeing from Syria because of the conflict that is happening in the country.
Yes, correct.
Um, and then for the next question, many people are debating about Syrian refugees. So,
Mm.
what are your opinion on the Syrian refugees?
my opinion,
Yes.
the UN Convention on Refugees stated
Yes.
that um it is the concern of everyone to have a safe place to live,
Yeah.
the right
Right.
for living, the
As
right
everybody's,
to
yeah,
be, yeah, to be not being prosecuted, not being
scared of the
we call it kicked out from their countries.
yeah.
That's why I believe all these Syrian refugees are not constantly leaving their country, but due to the fact that there conflict, there are conflict in their countries,
Hmm?
and it's no longer habitable. This Syrian government, some say that the Syrian government also uh, inflicting persecution towards
Okay.
their own people. So that's why,
Oh, many
without,
people are scared. Yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
due to that fact, uh, there are a lot of major principle of international law has been violated by the
Um,
Syrian government.
yeah.
Multiple parties to the conflict have conducted attacks leading to multiple civilian deaths,
Yes.
a lot of human rights violation. They also block humanitarian aid from the
Hmm?
international community. That's why there is no other option other than leaving their country. So that's not what their intention.
Yeah.
They 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 have to, without their consent, they have to leave Syria. That's why
Oh, yeah.
there is Syrian refugees, and us, the international community, have responsibility
Yeah. To
in
help them.
in assisting them.
Yeah.
Even though we're not part of the convention, but Indonesia also uh, playing their role
Yeah.
in trying to ease the problem, the crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, for the next question.
Okay.
So, what is the Syrian refugees' impact on the world?
Their impact.
Yes, impact on the world. Is it negative, positive, or something like that?
Okay. Mm, Of course, this crisis happened in 2011.
Yeah.
It's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean 9 years ago maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So, like I mentioned before, there are, I believe, 5.4 million people from Syria
Yes.
have sought sanctuary across their borders.
Mm.
They try to go to Lebanon,
Palestine.
Jordan, Turkey. Uh, Even I heard that in 2011, Turkish and Jordan authorities prevent them
So, Syrian refugees
from
to
being,
come.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, they close their
They
borders.
close their borders. Yeah.
Yes, but this is perfectly normal because every country have their own policy
Yeah.
and they have the responsibility to protect their sovereignty.
True. True.
So if say that part of the refugee are considered beneficial,
They will
they will
open their
be able
borders.
to assist, yeah, open their border
Uh,
and assist them to enter the country.
yes.
However, there's some
That they
Syrian
actually.
people that covering themselves as refugee, even though they are part of the conflict. Say they are part of the armed group, rebellious group.
Yes.
So that's why there's an obligation for other countries to protect their borders
Mm.
and to trying to select which
Yeah.
person that they will allow to enter their country and which person that they will deny entry.
Oh yeah.
Basically, that's
The
if
impact.
you are asking about what is the Syrian refugees' impact
Impact
on the
on the
world.
world.
So
Yeah.
first, maybe the world will care, give more attention to the crisis in Syria, and the world need to pay attention to the problem of refugees.
Mm.
They need to work hand in hand in
Yeah.
trying to solve the problem of refugees while at the same time trying to share maybe or work together in helping the crisis in Syria. And of course, we need to highlight on the human rights.
Yeah.
So
True.
the world need to highlight on the human right aspect in dealing with Syrian refugees. Okay,
Okay.
that's my answer.
Thank you. So for the next question, so like as you said, there were many countries that are debating whether they should open or close their borders. So for you, do you think that refugees are dangerous, are criminals and dangerous to the society?
Um, Refugee per se,
Yes.
by definition, no, they are not
No.
dangerous people. They are people who are being what do you call it?
Broken and homeless.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are person who in need of our
Help.
assistance, the
Yeah.
word assistance, because they cannot survive, they cannot live in their own countries.
Yes.
They are being moved without their consent. They are forced to leave their country,
Yeah.
so they are not dangerous by definition.
By definition,
You
yeah.
can check the UNHCR webpage.
Hmm.
A refugee is someone who has been forced to flee his or her country because of persecution,
Yes.
war, or violence.
Oh.
A refugee has a well-founded fear. So eh, they have fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. They're not dangerous. However, the definition of danger or not danger is up to the country that being the destination.
Yes.
Sometimes we do profiling of a
Yeah.
person who
And then
want to enter Indonesia,
yeah,
and we based on those assessment and profiling, we found out that this person has the potential
to be dangerous
risk,
or criminal.
yeah, to become a criminal,
Uh,
to become a speaker of
mm,
hatred.
hatred. Yes.
So that's why we could consider
Him as a
them
dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah.
But refugee itself, themselves, by definition, they're not dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yep.
So do you know some countries that actually support and help Syria?
Politically and militarily,
Yes.
Syria until now are
Mhm.
supported by Iran and Russia.
Ah, Iran and
Because
Russia.
President Bashar Assad, he has a close
Relationship.
relationship connection with Iran and Russia.
Ah. So how
That's
about
why,
like? Sorry.
yeah, that's military and politically.
Ah, yeah.
But in terms of the world attention in trying to solve the crisis in Syria, including in the problem of refugees, I mentioned earlier Turkish, Jordan,
This Jordan
they're trying to assist in terms of solving the problem of
refugees.
Syria. There's also Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey. I mentioned to you
Oh yeah,
Turkey.
Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, they try to ease the problem in Syria. So I believe USA also have
Ah, USA
a
too.
grudge with the ISIS.
Yeah, yeah, true.
They also have interest
Iran
in
war.
trying to
War.
solve the problem of ISIS in Syria.
Ah,
Um, I believe that's all.
ah.
But in terms of the refugee problem,
Yeah,
all the world have
are
giving
helping
their
them.
attention in
Yeah.
trying to solve the problem.
So for the next question, do you think that all of our countries, all of the countries in the world should accept Syrian refugees?
There's a UN Convention on Refugees, and not all the country in the world is part of their refugee. Even Indonesia is not part of that
Yeah.
UN Convention on Refugees.
Yes, yes.
So by in practice, de jure, we don't have the obligation of dealing with refugee problem
Ah,
in helping Syria with their Syrian refugees.
yeah.
But seeing from a humanitarian aspect, the human rights aspect,
Yeah.
we accept Syrian refugees.
Yes.
And I believe all countries should also look into that aspect, the human rights aspect. So if all countries are considering the human rights aspect, they should accept Syrian refugees.
Oh yeah.
The refugees, yeah,
Yes,
not the one that part of the rebellious group
by the
or
government.
yeah
Yeah.
gave any hatred towards the country of destination or Indonesia.
Yeah.
Uh,
The next question is: do you think that the Syrian crisis makes people point of view to Islam worse?
um, that's as a Muslim,
Hmm.
I have the obligation in explaining to the people that Islam is not a violent religion.
Religion. Yeah.
We are a religion of peace.
Yes.
So the Syrian crisis is pure political and military problem.
Yeah. It's not about
Yeah,
religion.
no, it's not about religion.
Yeah.
They may have different belief between the
Mhm.
Shia and the Sunni,
Yeah.
but that's not the main cause of the problem. The
Yeah.
main cause of the problem is political and military.
Yeah.
So the president might be want to impose a strict administration.
Yes.
They try to silence all these rebellious group, and the rebellious group fight
Yeah.
the
Put back.
administration, the government. That's the main reason. So it's mainly political in
And
trying
yeah, particular military.
battle for a power.
So it's not really about really religions.
No, no. In my opinion, no.
Okay. For the last question, what can we all do to help the Syrian refugees?
As of now,
Mm.
maybe not all Indonesian understand about this refugee
Syria.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of Indonesian probably will consider them as illegal immigrants because
Mm.
they enter the country without documents,
Yeah.
without
Through illegal,
any yeah.
through
But we need
illegal
to
ways.
understand that they are fleeing from their country to avoid persecution.
Yeah.
They are fleeing to save themselves, their family, their children.
Yeah.
So we need to give advocacy. We need to give socialization to the people,
Yeah.
the laymen, the commoners, to understand about this refugee problem. It's a global problem that needs to have a local solution. That's why if there is a refugee
Hmm?
in our neighborhood, what
Yeah.
the country can do, what the people of the country can do is trying to assist from the humanitarian aspect, human rights. We need to fulfill their rights of living, their rights of having a place to stay,
Yeah.
things like that. In Indonesia, we have the presidential decree number 125,
Oh yeah.
press 125 on
Hmm?
how to handle refugees, and that purpose, the local government, the military, the police, and the immigration
Yeah.
has to work hand in hand in trying to assist the refugees whenever they are located.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you may be able to look into that.
Okay. So
Mm.
that's all for us. That's all the question, Mr. Majid.
Yep,
Yeah. Thank you for your time. Sorry for any inconvenience,
that's okay.
Mr.
That's okay. Glad to help.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan nama saya Husain. Hari ini saya sudah bersama dengan Pak Repo selaku pimpinan RRF. Selamat pagi Pak. Langsung kita mulai aja ya interviewnya. Pertanyaan pertamanya, kapan dan bagaimana permasalahan pengungsi Suriah terjadi?
Pengungsi di Suriah itu kan terjadi sejak konflik di sana itu terjadi. Konflik di Suriah itu kan terjadi ketika apa namanya terjadi musim semi Arab gitu di sana kan Arab Spring. Terus sekitar tahun 2011. Nah, kemudian ketika di sana ada pergantian kekuasaan. Nah, dari pergantian kekuasaan itu kemudian merembet menjadi konflik
panjang.
konflik horizontal di Suriah. Warganya saling berperang antara satu sama lain, kemudian menimbulkan apa namanya kesengsaraan lah buat penduduk Suriah sendiri. Nah, itu yang kemudian membuat apa namanya arus pengungsi mulai terjadi dari Suriah keluar ke banyak negara.
Ke berbagai negara. Pertanyaan kedua, kenapa para pengungsi melarikan diri dari Syria?
Karena di sana mereka hidupnya merasa tidak aman. Ya. Konflik membuat banyak orang terbunuh, ada saling kalau tidak sepakat satu sama lain bisa ditangkap. Kemudian konflik juga perang saudara juga membuat akhirnya selain rasa tidak aman ya, tapi juga membuat kesulitan makanan, kesulitan sandang pangan ya, rumahnya juga hancur gitu. Karena lingkungan tidak aman, itu yang membuat ada kerusakan namanya. Ada orang ya? Membuat orang-orang warganya akhirnya mengungsi mencari tempat yang lebih aman.
Langsung pertanyaan berikutnya, apa pendapat Bapak tentang pengungsi Syria?
Pengungsi ya sebenarnya kan sudah diatur dalam ratifikasi kesejahteraan bersama. Bahwa konflik itu kan sudah zaman dulu, konflik di sebuah negara itu pasti memunculkan arus pengungsi. Nah, arus pengungsi itu memang akhirnya menimbulkan ini masalah kemanusiaan yang pertama. Tapi masalah kemanusiaan itu juga ada efek lainnya. Siapa yang akan menampung? Kalau di negaranya ketika masuk ke negara tersebut, apakah bisa langsung jadi warga negara? Kemudian bagaimana tempat tinggalnya ketika tiba di sebuah negara yang datangnya tersebut? Nah, permasalahan itu tentunya harus diselesaikan. Nah, itu kenapa kemudian PBB itu punya badan khusus yang menangani para pengungsi. UNHCR, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee. Jadi badan PBB ini memang khusus menangani para pengungsi.
Dan sedang melakukannya.
Ya, sebenarnya kalau misalkan ada pengungsi ya dari Syria pakai perahu atau bukan hanya dari Syria ya dari negara konflik Afghanistan dan yang lain-lain itu naik perahu misalkan UNHCR. Tergantung kemana mereka yang dituju kan. Kalau yang dituju ke Australia, bisa jadi mereka akhirnya lewat Indonesia, perlengkapan di Indonesia. Itu banyak. Semua ada yang harus dicatat adalah ini adalah persoalan kemanusiaan. Negara yang menerima itu, ya memang harus ditangani karena itu manusia. Apalagi kalau bukan ada orang sakit, orang tua, anak-anak.
Lanjut ke pertanyaan berikutnya, apa dampak pengungsi Syria terhadap dunia?
Ya, memang ada begini. Ketika tadi masuk ke negara Eropa, ya mari ke Eropa, mari ke Amerika atau ke Kanada, itu memunculkan masuk ke negara tersebut. Negara tersebut mau menerima atau enggak, itu kan belum tentu.
Jadi malah masalah lagi.
Ini masalah kemanusiaan yang pertama. Jadi orang-orang tersebut sudah mereka menunjukkan negara yang ada konflik sampai di negara tujuannya mereka belum tentu rumah, belum tentu mereka punya makanan, uang terbatas. Sampai di sana apakah mereka bisa berbahasa setempat? Misalnya dia sampai di Jerman, apakah mereka bisa bahasa Jerman? Kemudian budayanya pasti akan berbeda budayanya orang Jerman dengan orang Syria. Makanannya misalnya. Jadi ada persoalan-persoalan masih sebenarnya itu yang memang harus ditangani secara khusus oleh sebuah lembaga yang adaptasinya bisa berjalan. Nah, negara-negara yang menjadi tempat tujuan ini kadang-kadang sudah berpikir ketakutan kan. Ada beberapa persoalan takut misalnya apakah orang-orang ini nanti akan menjadi karena mereka datang tidak pekerjaan akan menjadi kriminal enggak? Terus kemudian akan menjadi teroris enggak misalnya. Nah itu kenapa kemudian butuh penanganan khusus. Tapi tidak harus ditolak gitu kan, tidak harus seharusnya tidak ditolak. Jadi memang harus ditampung, kemudian ada salah khususnya mereka di dalam itu kemudian di situ kemudian beradaptasi misalnya. Di beberapa negara orang-orang Suriah yang diterima dengan baik, misalnya di Kanada, mereka juga bisa diterima dengan baik. Beberapa negara yang lain ya, ada banyak negara yang menerima mereka dan kemudian orang Suriah pengungsi ini sudah bersosialisasi dan hidup normal, dan banyak juga yang berprestasi di negara tersebut. Ketika pindah keluar negara mereka jadi, karena memang dasarnya mereka mungkin di Suriahnya memang berhasil.
Pertanyaan selanjutnya, menurut Bapak, apa para pengungsi ini berbahaya?
Ya, itu tadi tidak selalu berbahaya sebenarnya, karena ada juga orang-orang pengungsi ini berprestasi, tapi kan ada yang atlet misalnya, dan dia atlet, atau ada yang ilmuwan, atau dia usia sekolah, tapi memang dasarnya dia orang ketika siswa yang berprestasi ketika di Suriah. Tapi memang tidak menutup kemungkinan ada yang karena mereka mengungsi tidak punya pekerjaan, tidak punya uang yang cukup, tidak punya tempat tinggal, ini di negara tujuannya menjadi masalah, menjadi kriminal, atau memang dia sengaja mengungsi menjadi teroris misalnya. Nah, untuk itulah kenapa kemudian orang-orang yang datang mengungsi refugees ini ketika masuk ke sebuah negara harus kontrol. Jadi otoritas tempat atau negara yang menjadi tujuan pengungsi ini menerima, ditampung, dishelter, kemudian dikontrol, didata dengan baik, kemudian seperti itu. Jadi ini untuk meminimalisir adanya masalah.
Kira-kira untuk negara yang membantu Syria ada apa? Ada negara apa?
Negara-negara yang membantu Syria itu ada banyak ya, saya nggak tahu ini, tapi kan bisa dicari di tapi ada beberapa seperti Indonesia misalnya, dia mengaku beberapa pengungsi Syria, walaupun tidak banyak ya, tapi jumlah pengungsi di Indonesia itu dari banyak negara termasuk Syria itu ada sekitar 14.000-14.000 orang. Nah, kemudian negara-negara yang tujuan misalnya Australia, Selandia Baru, dan kawasan kita ya, itu juga mengaku, walaupun mereka kontrolnya sangat ketat. Australia misalnya nggak serta-merta langsung menerima, itu juga akan kembalikan, nanti kembali kayaknya ke Indonesia. Nah, seperti itu. Ada beberapa di negara-negara Eropa, ada beberapa yang bisa menerima dengan baik. Kanada juga.
Pertanyaan selanjutnya, apakah semua negara harus menerima pengungsi Syria?
Secara kalau landasan dasarnya adalah kemanusiaan, harusnya diterima. Karena mereka ini kan korban jadi diterima, ditampung dulu. Karena nanti kemudian mereka akan menjadi permanen resident atau warga negara tetap, itu urusan nanti. Tapi ditampung dulu, namanya juga orang. Kalau misalkan kita punya rumah aja, kita punya tetangga kita tetap parah, kita punya rumah, nggak punya makanan, ya mau minta tolong kita nggak ada kasih tempat tinggal sementara, ya. Nah tapi apakah sih tempatnya itu tempat tinggal sementara atau kemudian nanti mereka pulang ke Syria ketika Syria sudah aman, tentram, damai, atau mereka akan membuat negara, nah itu urusan berikutnya. Tapi yang jelas ketika ada orang pengungsi datang, kalau orang dasarnya adalah kemanusiaan, ini kan kemanusiaan, gitu ya. Orang terkatung-katung di laut, perahu, makanan nggak ada. Jadi ketika tiba kita akan menunggu perkara berikutnya, nanti kemudian akan melihat apakah nanti waktu negara tersebut bisa memberi permanen residen atau nanti akan diserahkan lagi ke PBB untuk repatriasi.
Apakah menurut Bapak krisis Syria ini membuat pandangan orang-orang terhadap negara agama Islam menjadi buruk?
Terhadap Islam memang ini ada banyak Libya. Jadi apa namanya, mereka selalu khawatir atau takut gitu ya dengan Islam itu teroris dan sebagainya. Nah, tapi banyak juga yang enggak. Nah, apakah kemudian konflik ini membuat pandangan dunia terhadap Islam berubah? Bisa jadi iya, bisa jadi iya. Tapi banyak juga orang menganggap bahwa persoalan ini bukan persoalan agama. Persoalan yang terjadi di Syria ini bukan bukan hanya persoalan agama, tapi ada persoalan kepentingan lain, persoalan ekonomi, kepentingan ekonomi seperti perebutan aset minyak, misalnya. Tapi bahwa kemudian banyak orang yang salah persepsi dan menganggap ini Islam itu suka berkelahi satu sama lain, bisa jadi ada. Tapi ada yang juga orang yang tetap secara jernih melihat ini konflik kekuasaan, ini konflik dengan latar belakang ekonomi dan sebagainya. Bukan sama-sama.
Bapak kira-kira bantuan apa yang kita bisa berikan untuk pengungsi Syria?
Ya, kalau untuk para pengungsi jelas mereka datang ke Indonesia harus bisa mampu. Selama ini pemerintah Indonesia sudah relatif cukup baik dalam menangani pengungsi. Di sini di Jakarta aja ada beberapa salah pengungsi. Di Jakarta itu salah pengungsi kalau masalah ada satu detensi itu apa namanya salah satu pengungsi. Kemudian misalnya di Sumatera, di Medan atau apa juga ada. Itu di Aceh sama dia sudah datang. Kemudian di Pontianak ada, di Kupang ada. Jadi di banyak titik sebenarnya kita punya salah satu pengungsi. Nah kalau misalkan ada pengungsi, nah itu pemerintah ya harus menyediakan. Dan Indonesia ini kan bekerja sama dengan UNHCR menangani para pengungsi. Ini bukan pertama loh di Indonesia. Dulu waktu konflik Iran itu
banyak juga yang datang.
Afghanistan.
Berarti ini buat Indonesia bukan apa-apa. Ya, pertanyaan terakhir, menurut Bapak mengapa beberapa negara menutup perbatasan mereka?
Karena itu mereka khawatir kalau misalkan pengungsi yang datang itu justru akan menimbulkan masalah bagi adanya. Negara-negara yang menutup perbatasan itu kan dicari oleh banyak negara lain, oleh pejuang kemanusiaan. Sampai kan ini datang itu ada anak kecil yang meninggal di apa yang di kanan itu masalah pantai kanan ini ada tertutup itu. Jadi ya ketika menutup perbatasan harusnya kan ditutup. Ya kenapa pada harusnya ditampung saja di situ bangun shelter itu bisa aja kalau misalkan tidak mau ada masalah gitu di bangunan shelter mereka kemarin karantina kan jadi tempatnya luas sebenarnya kayak sekolah mahasiswa ini terus di tembok jadi mereka hanya di sekitar situ pasokan makanan mungkin awal pada tahap awal kemudian akan itu untuk meminimalisir terjadinya apa namanya konflik masalah baru. Tapi mereka bahwa mereka datang harus dimanusiakan itu harusnya dilakukan.
Ya, sekian interviewnya semua habis. Terima kasih.
And a huge shout out to Miss Rati and Mr. Evo for the wonderful answer. So it is all from us today. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Don't forget to watch RNN News every Sunday at 8 p.m. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.